to the Raise Your Banner podcast. Tonight's guest is Emily Seabrook. We're going to be talking about the Within Temptation fandom. We're going to know a lot about her artwork and her great work with music. And then we'll also get into a little bit of discussion about mental health. So stick around, stay tuned, and enjoy the episode.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, Emily Seabrook, nice to finally meet you. I was going to say meet you in person, but I guess this kind of counts. Yeah, we got a ton to talk about today. I'm really glad you're on. Why don't you just quickly introduce yourself, I guess, and I guess start where you want to start.
My name is Emily. Hello, everyone. AKA Emilala, AKA Crazy Girl. That's one of my nicknames from the fandom. Should we start from how I got into the
Sure, yeah.
scene? It's a weird one. Didn't really grow up with like metal till I was about 13.
Same here.
I was we didn't really have we weren't very raised in like a music orientated environment. It's just radio, CDs, mainstream, which I obviously enjoy. But I think it was when we got Guitar Hero on the Wii. It's when I discovered like Metallica, Iron Maiden. I was like, and obviously failing completely at that game. And I was like, these songs are so good. And then there I was on LimeWire, destroying the family computer, downloading all the metal songs on.
Yeah, exactly.
Burning CDs. Those were the days. That was.
And
then years, I think, my start in the Within Temptation fandom, it had sort of two beginnings. I first discovered them in 2014, so 10 years ago. I mean, some people are going 10 years before that, so I'm a bit of a latecomer. I was on just YouTube one day and I was watching this little video back when people used to mash anything with like Evanescence and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this song's really good. What is it? It was Pale. So that was my first.
Oh, yeah.
So I listened to that song on repeat again and again and again. And I was like, who's actually singing this? Let's look it up. And then I went on to maybe just got a few more tracks from them, like Shot in the Dark, Angels, put them on my little Diddy iPod Nano, listened to them 5 songs, repeat. Then kind of just, I don't know, went and sort of faded out and back into just listening to my main playlist, which are kind of a mix of everything. I do love all music, but metal is my space. And then, so here's where the story truly begins in 2018, which was unfortunately like probably the lowest point in my life. If I look back, that was definitely where I kind of just didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't like who I was at all. I was a horrid person back then. Blech. Didn't know what career I wanted to do because I just been diagnosed with autism that year.
Oh, wow.
At the age of 23. So that's kind of like a reset button.
Right.
When that happens, you go through this like weird grieving period. You kind of grieve the person who you thought you were going to be. So you probably went through this as well. When you're at school, you imagine the amazing adult you're going to become. You're going to go to college. You're going to get a job, raise a family, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, damn, all that wiped off. So, and everyone was telling me what you can't do. You're limited and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So, but it does get to you. That sort of messes with your identity quite a lot.
It does.
And also hit burnout. My first bout of really bad burnout. So my passion for art had gone as well. And I remember, I don't know what brought me to it. I just saw I was thinking, I want to do something new. Something to just look forward to, because I was really kind of at the end of my tether back then. I was in a dark place up here. I went through months and months of just not being able to see the future. I kept trying to imagine the future and it always saw was fog.
Right.
And I thought, damn, I'm in a bad place. I need something to get me out of this. I was going for my music and I thought, what about going to a concert? Maybe I'm not very good in crowds, obviously. So I was pretty scared. But then I saw Within Temptation were playing near the end of the year in Brixton, quite a small venue in London. And the tickets were like 40 quid. Like, pretty, I was like, yeah, I can afford that. And when I bought the tickets, there were like, I think 2%, like a handful left. That was it. So I got lucky. So that's back when we had paper tickets, which I
still like
miss.
the paper tickets. You can collect
I
them,
missed
right?
them. So this little ticket come through the door, and I've got about 3 months to wait. And it's in my drawer. I'm going through hell the next few months, but I keep sort of peeking. I keep looking at it, like, just, it's there. It's there. And what's really funny is I didn't bother learning any new songs. I didn't even know what the band looked like. Didn't really bother actually, because I'd never been into music this deep. So I wasn't really sure what albums were back then. I never bothered to learn. I just thought it was just like greatest hits. That's it. Bang. I didn't realise that artists did new albums on their tours. I thought it was just, greatest hits.
Yeah,
I know the greatest hits, it's fine. And the only picture I saw was a tiny little thumbnail when I bought the ticket. I thought like Evanescence-y looking people. I thought, yeah, that's fine. I know what they look like now. So the day comes, finally. Freezing. I go to the gig very early because I wanted to get front row because I'm scared of being surrounded by people. So I was like, I need the barrier. And meeting all these metalheads, like, immediately you are accepted.
It is.
Like,
Isn't
I
that
turned up
crazy?
just wearing just like what I thought metalheads wear, and I was like, I feel pretty nice. This feels pretty comfortable, okay. But everyone, they treat you like you've been there for years. You're immediately a friend.
Yeah.
I remember every single person I stood next to at the barrier in every concert. I haven't kept in touch with them, but it was they were all amazing nights, and I hope they're all doing well wherever they are. So we go in, do the warm up act, and I'm standing there, and then suddenly we're waiting for the band to come on, and I remember the lights just going off, so standing in pitch blackness, and for me that was like that chapter of my life, all the past chapter just closed.
Yeah.
And you're just waiting for that next door to open up. That's how it felt. It was like a spiritual experience. I'm going to get into really hippie stuff here, so so that's how it felt. I remember the Radio Banner started, I'm standing there like, oh my god. And those drums go off, and I didn't realize how loud it was going to be. I'm like, what? This is something else. And then they would come on. I didn't expect them to look like that. I was like, oh, I thought they'd just be like blokes with long hair. So yeah, if there was one night I could relive, it would be that one. That there were just so many emotions going through my head. Like my first time headbanging, I was like, just go crazy, go nuts. You're at a metal gig, girl. Just let it out. And I remember getting to the end of the concert, and I came out. I remember going in still feeling miserable from everything that happened. But I came out just like couldn't stop smiling. I was like, I gotta see him again. I have to see him again. One, because I didn't know any freaking songs. I knew 2 out the set list. And plus, I feel amazing. And that's where I got the idea for where my life wanted to go.
Right.
I remember I had to get like a rail replacement bus that evening, 1 a.m. It was fucking terrifying. So pitch blackness through like the countryside, and all I had was a couple of other metalheads. I remember this man sitting opposite me at the back of the bus. This big friendly guy. It looked like you a little bit. And we were just chatting about the gig.
Right.
And I felt perfectly comfortable with this guy just chatting. Wherever he is right now, hope he's doing well. Then he gets off, and I'm by myself in this bus going through. I look out the window. There's just nothing. Black. So it's just me and my thoughts. What I experienced. So I'm sitting there thinking, I've got it. I know what I want to do with myself. I want to make people feel the way that the band made me feel on that stage. Maybe not in a music way, but I've got to figure out myself. So that was the goal. And that goal sort of went to the back of my mind over the few
Right.
years, sort of subconsciously there. So I didn't really think about it for a while until we fast forward to Worlds Collide. So, shall I keep going? Any questions?
Oh, the other thing I was going to add in there was I think the interesting, just the diversity of the crowd. Like, I was the same with you. Like, I think you have this weird thing in your head of like, oh, metalheads look like this. They're, blah, blah, blah. And every concert I've gone to is like the widest range of people, age, color. It doesn't matter. Like I was telling you, I was just at a Lacuna Coil concert. There was like a 10-year-old girl there with her family, like rocking out. I was like, this is awesome. And I think and like you said, everybody's very accommodating.
Yeah.
Very friendly, very like, it doesn't matter. Language barriers don't matter either. Like when I went on some of the concerts at Worlds Collide, and just, I'm standing there in Germany, and like I don't speak German, and it's you're just having a good time with people, and it's just it's a very welcoming, home, kind of like a homey feel.
Yeah. I remember Mera Luna. That was my first festival with the band that was 8 months late after the first gig. That was 8 months after that. I remember like seeing like an old couple dressed up with like steampunk Victorian. I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. So nice. I love it.
Was Mera Luna the bunny concert one or no? The bunny costume one or no?
No, not the bunny. Bunny was a download.
Oh, nice.
No, this was years before. This was 2019. This was we went to Dresden, best concert ever.
Really?
Then we went straight to Mera Luna, and that's where I first met the band, like at the signing. And I had my first little drawing of Sharon. So I was like, okay, I want to draw something. And that's why I first met her, and I filmed it. So now you can have. I've got like film from then, and compared to Mera Luna 4 years later of me giving her an art piece. And it's so sweet. You see like 4 years difference.
That is pretty cool.
She remembers the first one. So we're gonna see. I'm trying to remember the timeline. There's quite a lot here. I think after we had COVID. Oh my God! Just when things were going good.
So I had seen them one time before COVID. No. I'm sorry. I saw them twice before COVID. Once here, they were in New York City, so I saw them there once. Actually, saw them twice. I take that back. New York and Boston, they're back to back. I saw them, and then I saw them once in the UK in Manchester, and then the next thing was going to be Worlds Collide. And then obviously, like you said, it got messed up from COVID until it finally got rebooked eventually.
So yeah, like COVID. I remember, I think we all went through the same feeling of just like this despair, thinking, when is this going to end?
I know, right?
Just, I was like, you feel it wasn't. The only nice thing about it was the walks. I took lots of walks out in the fields and the woods and just listen. That's how I learned the rest of the band's songs because I wasn't really familiar with their entire discography. So I just hour a day going in the woods listening to their memorizing all their, especially like the symphonic ones because it fit with the environment. Makes you feel like you're in Narnia sometimes.
Well, it's funny. For the other thing for COVID that came out for me, I was stuck home for 6 months because of the job I had. We couldn't go in for it, and we couldn't do it from home either. So, but for me, it made me realize like, okay, I can retire from the military now. Like I understand, like I'm home. I could still sell stuff online for my antique business, and I'm home. I'm ready to like let that chapter go, and I can actually maybe try to do this other stuff on my own. And it was kind of like, it was weird. It was kind of like a little bit of a door opening for me too. Like, okay, I can do this, and maybe it's time. Maybe it's the right time, So I guess there's some positives to come out of it.
Yeah, that's where I learned the bass during COVID.
Oh, it was? Oh, interesting.
I decided I want to learn an instrument, but I can never get guitar. It wasn't because guitar is difficult, it's because it just didn't fit me.
Right.
Something about it didn't resonate. Like there's something about the pick and the smallness of it. If that makes any sense. But this is where things get interesting because, like, you get into one thing,
right?
And if you really sort of follow your heart and your instincts,
right,
it starts branching out into like other areas. So this is the first time this happened. I think it was end of 2019. Annika van Giersbergen, she announces that Sharon is going to be guesting at her show.
Oh, interesting.
So you know they're going to be singing somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that could be a rough song sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this could be my only chance to see it.
Yeah.
Am I really going to go abroad for one song? Yes, of course I am. It was mental. I didn't even know who Annika was back then. So I listened to a few of her songs. Yep, she's good enough. I'm going. She's good. I'm good. So that was my first sort of spontaneous, like, screw it. Why not? Like, everyone's like, oh, you got a good reason to go to abroad. This is a good reason. I just want to have a nice time. Have a nice day. Meet new people.
Where was it? Amsterdam somewhere? Netherlands?
It was in Eindhoven.
Okay.
Yep. So off I go to Eindhoven on a 10-hour bus. That's how committed I was to this. And I did the same with Rude's Dio show. Ugh.
How was that? That was pretty good too, right?
Amazing. Yeah. That's further on in the timeline. We're gonna get muddled up here. So when I'm watching the show, I see the bassist Johan van Stratum. I think his name is.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got a guy with really long dreads. The way he played this bass, and I didn't really know what a bass was back then. I wasn't sure what it did because you only see guys at the back just like, yeah. You got like, I'd never like seen a song with a bassist actually taking the lead, and the way he played it, he would play it like a freaking weapon. This guy was jumping about the stage, just attacking this thing, and I was like, the way something about the hands, it wasn't a pick, it was the hands just attacking this thing. I thought, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the difficulty, because everyone says, oh, bass is easy. I know it's not. No, it's bloody not. Depends how you use it.
Right.
Like, try and play some Primus off the bat. Go on. You're going to have a very bad day. And then I started watching Within Temptation videos and started looking at Hiron more. Because I thought, oh, that's the bassist. What is he doing? Which part of the song is he playing? How does this work? And then I got just a cheap bass online during COVID. Here we go. Started learning their songs, intently watching every move he made on the stage. Just really committed to learning these songs, like figuring out. I taught myself a lot during that time. Before I started getting lessons with a mate on doing online lessons with a friend a year later. And that's how I sort of got to know Hiron through the bass. My bass, because I'd tag him, make him watch them. Like, look, I got another one. Watch. I'm so sorry, but I got another one. I keep tagging you.
It's impressive that you taught yourself or you learned by yourself too, because I am like a creative person, but I have zero ability to turn that creativity into like art, music. I can like repurpose things. That's kind of what I'm into. But other than that, I've always wanted to play an instrument. Never did when I was really young, like a trumpet. Yeah, someday maybe I'll try it again. But I don't know, I find it very impressive. For some reason, I've never maybe the master. Master may not be the right word. Even just make a solid attempt.
Yeah, I tried to in school. We couldn't afford lessons, so I got like this little acoustic. And I tried joining like the guitar club, but of course I got bullied like every single class I did in school. So it did kind of put me off for a while. It's like, it happens. So I thought, that's when I picked the guitar back up, and I was like, I just can't do it. But bass, it just feels right. It feels like when the instrument is right, it's like a connection of you. It feels like you're moving with it. And then that led to joining a band a year later.
I don't know if you were in a band.
Yes, I was in a band for a year, but it was a good experience. I was thinking, am I good enough for this? Am I good enough? I mean, it's just learning new songs. So I was a punk band called Lady Rage.
Oh, cool.
Played quite a few shows. I got to play at the Cart and Horses where Iron Maiden started.
Oh, interesting.
That was pretty cool. And I was wearing Steve Harris's wristband that he gave me on the
wow.
stage. Like, does everyone know what this is?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a hobby at the time. I had to quit, unfortunately, due to other commitments and other people leaving, stuff like that. But they're doing well, which I'm happy with. I think my heart's always been on metal and classic metal, stuff like that. So where are we in the timeline?
We picked up
COVID, end of COVID.
Yeah, end of COVID, yeah. The world's alive, basically, end of COVID, yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. It's just COVID. One of the things that helped me through COVID was the fandom. That's when I really got committed.
Yeah, same here, yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I remember during COVID, Sharon took over the socials,
Mm-hmm.
and she was always posting stuff.
Yeah, I remember some stuff from home, like I do remember those.
Yeah, there's a lot of banter. I remember a lot of banter going on between myself and other people. Just like it did help me cope.
I was never a big Twitter person, but I started getting on Twitter then. Between like the metal fandom, and then also like for me, like some of the I grew up in a big Star Trek nerd, and so like that there's a whole fandom of that. For the most part, good people on Twitter for that too, and yeah, I think it was almost just like that daily like escape to like, oh, let's see what people are talking about on Twitter or this and that about whatever, and it was kind of nice. You're right.
So after COVID ended, obviously the shows are back on,
Right.
And they were suddenly boom announcing countries, and I'm like, I want to travel. I want to start traveling, even though I don't get paid. My income is quite low,
Right.
So budget it was. So I followed them to Greece, Spain,
Nice.
Finland, just like a couple of day trips, but it's enough for me. All I need is a day to explore, and I'll be happy. And that's why I started really feeling a little different. I was like, I feel different. What is this weird? I feel very different being out there than I do to being here.
Right.
Then I realised that's the real me. That's the person I'm meant to be. Like doing art, going out, and just because I noticed a bit of a change when I came back to work after travelling,
right,
and seeing the band and giving them my art. I just felt really miserable. I felt horrible. I was like,
interesting.
I found myself pacing at work during like a dead end we had.
Right.
No customers. I just started pacing backwards and forwards, feeling really agitated. I'm like, I don't belong here. What am I doing? What am I doing in my life? So that's the goal now. The goal now is weeding myself out of that and into art and music entirely. It's going to be a long trek.
For sure.
But with the right amount of effort, a lot of bloody effort, it's going to be... Hope, fingers crossed, it will be. We're going to get there.
I think you're taking a good step. I mean, your art's already getting out there, right? I know you're selling it a bit, and I mean, I see it all the time. You post it, and so I know everybody else is seeing it too.
Forever grateful to the band for sharing it. Oh my goodness,
that's awesome too, right? Yeah.
I did it yesterday. I was like, you darling,
I must have missed that. Oh,
yeah, they someone uploaded a funny little Instagram trend. Put your artwork as an album cover.
Oh, interesting.
So I put was it the Warrior Sharon one with the sword?
Yeah.
And I think she shared that. Thought it looked cool.
Oh,
so I'm like,
awesome.
If you want to buy the design, I'm here. Put on a t-shirt. Go. So where are we up to? Well, I think when worlds collide now. So 4 years after I first saw them. And this is why I had to get really personal, because I was an addict in 2018. Okay. That's when my addiction began. I'm not really going to say what it was. There'll be hints, but yeah, I had a bit of a problem. And it was always there. I couldn't seem to shake it.
Right.
I managed to get clean like for months at a time, but it always, something, especially during COVID, something would trigger it and it would come back.
Go back.
And the relapse would last for freaking weeks, and I'd be like, just feeling completely drained, thinking, oh God, what have I done now? Why did I do that? Start back to square one. And obviously you can really tell people about it, because it's kind of, you feel judgment, you feel...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I think my closest friends knew that was about it. And I managed to finally get clean. So 2.5 years now. Woo! I was on it for 4 years though, from 2018.
Sorry, congrats by the way for that.
Thank you very much. Didn't be long enough, but I got there in the end. So 2018 began. 2022 in January it stopped. I managed to finally stop. And one thing I did, this is what got it to work. The last time I relapsed, I told myself, if you keep doing this, you will not see them again. You'll be
Right.
able to afford it. And you're not going to see the friends you've made again because they'll live abroad. Like, you've got to stop. Just do it for the band, do it for the gigs, do it for your mates.
Yeah.
Just stop right now. Don't worry about, like, just, I don't know why I keep hoping it'll get better. It's like, oh, if this is fine, if I just do it one more time, it'll be fine this time. No, you got to stop. Just right dead in its tracks. Don't judge yourself for it. Think, oh, I should have stopped sooner. Just stop right there. And then the first day is always the worst. It's when the withdrawal comes in. You're just like,
Right.
it feels like your brain's itching all day. It's so weird. Once you get through day one, it gets easier. And so I was thinking to myself, I've got to tell Sharon this in person. I mean, like, she's my hero. I
Right.
have to tell her. I got to say something. Because I went through a bit of a depressive phase during work. I don't know where it came from. I think there's a lot of stuff going on, like work and things. And I just felt, bleh. I remember going to the London gig and not feeling anything. I was like, why don't I feel anything? And I got worried. It's like, what's wrong with me? Oh no,
Right.
What am I not enjoying this anymore? And you start panicking. You start spiraling. And I thought, okay, let's approach this from a different way. If I'm going to keep going to these things, I've got to make it really worthwhile. Bring something to the game. Because I get bored very easily, unfortunately. So that's where the artwork started coming in. And that's where I managed to get a base cover out before I went to the shows. So just keep churning stuff out. Keep bringing stuff to the game. And I started turning up in outfits. That's where the costumes came in. So we get to Berlin. Final show was Collide Tour.
Mm-hmm.
It was in December. And at that point, I'd done the artwork for Mike and Martine.
Okay.
Because I promised them in Birmingham. I didn't have their drawings ready. I said, I'm so sorry, but I promise you they'll be ready for Berlin. I felt so bad because they're always left out. They were at the back. They're always left out. Oh my God, I felt so bad. But then I thought, how am I going to get these done in 2 weeks? You idiot. Don't... But I managed to get it done in the hotel that morning. They were very happy. I was like, thank God. They were both very happy to see it. So I'm going to try and recite this without getting emotional. Try and recall as much as I can from my memory. So I showed up wearing Huron's Black Christmas outfit with the ghoul face paint, the pirate coat.
Yeah.
So good thing I was, because I probably red underneath all that white makeup. And then I get sort of pushed to the back of the queue. So I'm right at the back of the queue, the VIP me. Like, great, maximum anxiety building time, brilliant.
It's funny. Mine was the same way. I was the second last one, and I was like, and the only positive was the guy behind me. And I don't mean a positive in a good way for me. He actually had severe, like really, really bad anxiety, and I do too. But his was like on point, like you could see it, you know. And he was actually from America too. We were both in Amsterdam, but we started talking, and I was able to we were able to kind of calm each other down.
Just hug each other, like, hug me, bro.
And that was good. And he was actually happy to go last in that case, but it was interesting. Sorry, I sidetracked you, but it was interesting.
It's fine. It's funny. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I went to meet an artist at Comic Con last year, and I ran off. Way back an hour later. It wasn't as bad as that. That was the thing that happened. I'm terrified. I don't know why I get so nervous. Just meeting somebody and getting something signed.
I know, right?
Why is it so scary?
Well, I think that's maybe why I never wanted to do it either, because I'm like, well, I know I'm going to be nervous. But yeah, no, I think I have to do it once at least. It's a little bit better. But
no, I still get to see it. I think because I always have a plan. Yeah. You start what you're going to say, thinking, okay, you're going to say this, you're going to say that, but then your mouth goes dry, and then you start stuttering, and it's people are pushing and everything, and like, oh my God, I can't do it. My awesome is going crazy.
Yeah, when I got to finally talk to Sharon, and she asked me that how I was doing, and it was like I had no response because it was like I really wasn't doing great, but I hadn't been honest about it, and it was like, oh my God, this person I look up to is asking me this really easy question that's emotionally killing me right now. Like, what do I do? I'm trying to spit out a response. I'm like, I need to say something. I'm standing here in front of like 20 people plus the band, So it was good.
So like the line is going towards them, I'm like, oh God. I remember I think Martine was sitting next to her, this time. So he was second to last. I remember her having her own little queue because no one was speaking to him. and so I'm giving him an art piece. I'm chatting to him for ages. And then suddenly I'm chatting to him for so long. Her little cue goes and she's kind of sitting there like, what do I do? Like, it's the first time in her life there's no one in front of her because I won't shut up next to my time. But I think he appreciated that. Him and Mike need more support.
You need their love, yeah.
So here we go. I'm like, oh god, here we go. I'm gonna say it. I've got to tell her. I remember this being its last show of the whole tour. I think they performed the day before as well, so they're obviously completely exhausted.
Right.
And I felt like really bad for them. I thought, oh my god, they're just being dragged around and like have to put up with us for half an hour. So, and then it got really chaotic. Obviously, people were coming back round and like getting pushy, putting autographs back in front of her. I'm trying to say these words, and the thing is, when I get emotional, I go mute. It's like my jaw locks up.
Right.
So I'm forcing out these words, like squeaking, and her assistant's telling her something, and she's like trying to listen to 4 people at once, and I'm standing there like. So I just told her like, following you guys helped me get clean, and I'm almost a year clean. It was something like that. I managed to force these words out, even though I'm thinking my head is just like, oh my god, I feel so embarrassed. Everyone's around me. She probably can't even hear me. But then she's in the middle of writing, and then she stops and she looks up at me like, and then she goes, oh, and then she puts the pen down, just sort of puts everyone's second round of autographs aside, and then she just gives me her full attention, like just one-on-one, just talking one-on-one. So everyone's got to wait now. It's my turn. I've waited all day.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And then I'm sort of just looking down all sheepish because I'm not good with eye contact, especially when I'm emotional. Boy. I remember just looking up, and she's given me like the biggest, friendliest smile you could ever imagine.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh my god. I'm thinking, am I having a fever dream here? This is... And I finish, and I shake her hand, and then she just holds my hand like that with both hands, and she says to me, if I can recall, she says something like thank you for sharing that with me. Like she says, you're very talented. She's been following my art and my bass stuff, and she says, just keep going with it. That's all I can remember. I think she said other things, but so my brain was just going. I was like, this isn't happening. Is this real? I remember just running to my friend afterwards and hugging her. I was like, what just happened? She's like, yeah, I know, I saw it. Calm down. I remember walking away from the table. As I walked away, Sharon calls me and she says, one more thing. I turn around and she goes, stay sober. And that was it. That's it. I was like, like, wow, did that just happen? I had to ask my friend what she said because my brain was going so crazy I forgot what Sharon said to me. I needed my memory just unlocked. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember now, okay. So, even reciting it, I'm feeling like...
That's just an awesome story. You know, it's funny. I didn't realize that. Like, obviously, the music is such an important thing. Like, I was the same way. Where like you have this like emotional connection to music, and you find these musicians and bands, and their music has got me so many tough times in my life, and I never put 2 and 2 together of like the extra added emotional connection, meeting them in person. You know what I mean? Like to me, it was just like we talked about before. So I was never just wasn't something that I would normally do because of the VIP that attract people. I mean, now I rather go all the time. I just didn't realize that there was an extra added emotional connection to actually meeting in person. It's just not. I don't know. It's like probably like you. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like how many people get that with their hero.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought, wow, that is like a 1 in a million thing. I have to. I can't let her down. I can't give up with what I'm doing. Like, I've got to make it work somehow. I
Well,
remember.
I mean, I think, and maybe you don't, do you realize this or don't? I mean, like you said, I mean, this is the first time we've ever talking in person, but, I've been following between following all the Facebook feeds of the man and all the fan pages, Twitter, and following you on Twitter now. Like, you definitely you've made, you know, I definitely think your artwork and music and all that has reached other people. It definitely inspired me to go to the VIP thing. It inspired me to follow the band even more. Uh, I just love seeing it. So I mean, you're definitely, I know, like you said, you want to continue and grow it and move forward with all the stuff you're doing. And I think you definitely already done so. So for me, it's
Oh, thank you.
I'll thank you for that. So thank you.
I remember like coming out of Berlin when the show finished. When Wells Clyde finished, everyone's going home. I remember walking out the venue, but I was by myself.
Right.
So I had to go back to the hotel by myself. I walked outside into the air and I just felt this weight just going. I was like, oh my God, I can breathe again. My anxieties are gone. For the last few months, it was just like this tight feeling. Every time I woke up, I felt this. I was like, what the hell is this? I hate when you just feel like, what is causing this now? What have I got to work through? It's like, maybe just say stuff to people like this. Take the opportunity to just get things like let your words flow. Then things start moving around and flowing with them. And this is where the art journey sort of kicks off. The next day I get home, like practically do backflips back to my house. And I thought, I had all this energy, this really positive energy sort of inside me now. I was like, okay, what's this then? And what do I do with it? And I was going through like the little pictures of the on the fandom page, and I was like, I know what to do. I want to do something nice to somebody. That's what I want to do. And Anya, one of the main ladies on the group.
Right, yeah.
She's like the grandma of the fandom. She's so nice. And I was like, I want to do a drawing for her. That's just, I don't know why, just came to me. So I asked her, can I do a little picture of you together that you always post with Sharon? Can I do that? And she said, yes, of course. Yes, go for it. So, a month later, Rude's Dio show. Here we go. Back on the bus. 12 hours. So the plan was go to his show, go visit Anya, give her the drawing. I remember being so excited to give her this drawing. Like, this just, I don't know why, it's like, I feel like this is just a nice feeling, doing something nice to somebody. And people have a go at me, oh, you're doing it for free, not doing it for money. I'm like, oh, shut up, it's not everything about money. I'm so tired of this fucking debate about the money. It's not about the money. Money would be nice, but...
that feeling, the money's nice, I guess, but the feeling of like, I'm sure the feeling of when you give it to her, that feeling, you can't do that.
Yes, that is. You can't replicate that. Like, it's just pure joy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where was I?
You're the Dio show.
Dio show, yes, Dio show. I got this from Rude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was very happy we came along. Like, if artists are doing side projects, they get so happy when you support that. Yeah, so it shows you're really you're actually interested in what they're doing, rather than just like the fame side of them. You want to know, you want to see what this guy can do.
Right.
So I recommend going along because you see Rude just like he's so good doing those solos. He doesn't miss a beat. We went again this year. It was that good. So we meet up with Anya, we give the drawing, all done, mission success.
Which drawing was it? Did you post it?
It was a selfie. She from my Indigo. She had a selfie with Sharon. It was a really nice picture that she always puts up. I thought, oh, that'd be nice. She can. Perfect. Here you go. And plus, I wanted to try out my new pencil, so good way. But the philosophy behind it was like Sharon had given me this positive energy from Worlds Collide. Like we do with these, like we give each other joy. Like humans in general, you can give joy to another person in whatever way you want. But then once you have it, I believe that you keep it alive by passing it on to someone else.
That's what that makes
It's
sense.
like a baton. It's like, give me
Yeah.
the baton. What do I do with it? What do I run with this? Figure out who you want to pass it to. If someone's having a bad time, there you go. Take this. Let it run. Because if you hold on to it yourself, it's just going to fizzle out. It's nice to have for a bit, but then gone. You go.
Well,
Then you
because
got
I
to
feel
go
like
find some more.
once you pass it on too, it kind of replicates things.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So,
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Because then you'll feel good about another person feeling good.
yeah, exactly.
This sounds so simple, but it's so deep.
I
Because I'm a
agree.
strong believer in there is so much power in small acts of kindness.
For sure.
Like if you're in a dark room and you have just like a pile of fluff and wood on the floor, no lights, well, it takes one little match, poof, one little match to get that going, and boom, you have room's brightened up, inferno. It's just getting it finding that match and putting it in the right place.
Well,
Then
that's funny. People make fun of me sometimes. I like to say good morning to a lot of people. If I see somebody or say hello, and sometimes like it's very simple, right? But sometimes, so it's funny. I do a lot of walking through the city here, and you can see, especially in the morning, you can just see people just not in good places, miserable. They just have a bad look on their faces, especially today, Monday morning. They're going back to work or whatever. And I don't know. For me, I've always tried to say good morning to people and hello, and every day. And maybe it can be annoying sometimes, but I truly believe that sometimes it helps. Like sometimes it snaps you out of your maybe negative thinking. You're like, oh yeah, good morning. Hey, how's it going? It's just simple, but sometimes it works. Maybe pass on some of those positive vibes if I can.
Yeah. So what's trying to think where we are.
You passed on the artwork. That was where we left it. First
artwork. And that's kind of where my burnout ended. I remember having burnout in 2018. Yeah. It went on for ages. It went on for years. And that's why I started having ideas. I want to do more. I want to give, especially for the band. And that's where that warrior piece came in.
Oh, that was awesome. I like that.
Ooh. That was my first digital drawing. That was. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I still don't. I know the basic buttons. That's about it. I just treat it like a pencil drawing. Just draw, blend. That's all I know. So I don't know how I managed to pull that off. Yeah, plan was to give that to Sharon at Meriluna, so it kind of comes full circle. First festival 4 years ago. Latest one, this festival. Have it. No signing, you have it. I sign it. You have it. Yeah. And this is where during that time before Meriluna is where I started to think, okay, so I've met with Temptation lots of times, done lots of art stuff. I've got to meet new people. So I took the opportunity to go to conventions, meet new artists, do different projects, really building up something here. Learning, always learning. And one of the artists I met taught me how to get my stuff printed, which is where my print shop comes in, which people really like. So it's all about being on the lookout and being willing to learn from people and stop being jealous. This is something a lot of artists deal with. I'm going to say this as a small artist. We all go through it. We all do our work. We see other people getting ahead and thinking, why am I not getting, what's something wrong with my stuff? No, nothing wrong with your stuff. It's just you haven't, maybe it's just luck, or you haven't just found your audience yet. It could be anything. But I will say this. I've never experienced jealousy from big artists. Big artists are so supportive. They will never be jealous. They're always willing to help, which is amazing. So as I tried to put these jealousy feelings, push them aside, really get them out the way, and just start talking to other artists more. Artists are on my level. And they will support. Everyone's really nice. And you feel those horrible little feelings fizzle out. Once you start chatting to people and you support each other, those feelings will go away. We unfortunately all experience them. It's horrible. It's annoying. That little voice in your head thinking, they're better than you, you're rubbish, blah. it will silence itself eventually because your mind will be filled with all the kind words from people that you meet. So that little voice, you can't hear it, it's gone.
It's funny. It's similar with my, like I was telling you before, I have a little antique store. Now, it's all online. I don't actually have a physical store. The jealousy thing comes up with that too, because it's like I see people with these stores that I kind of want to have a physical store, but I see these other ones and it's so like unreachable financially at this point. But there's, you're right. There's some jealousy that pops in there. That like, well, why can't I have this store? Why can't I do this? But at the same time, like, there's been so many people that have had stores or also do like the e-commerce thing that have been just like the art. The art is extremely supportive. Basically have mentored me along the way. And that by far outweighs that little bit of jealousy you sometimes feel about seeing other people's stuff. So.
I feel like we've got like a really nice community going in the Within Temptation fandom right now.
We sure do, yeah.
Especially in the Facebook group. It is from other fandoms I've been in. This is definitely we have our flaws. We have a few iffy bits, but you if you say which fandom is toxic, you immediately know like games, stuff like that. So, some shows, but with this fandom, no, absolutely never. Because we wouldn't allow it. Usually if something happens, we'll be straight in there, just sorting it out. And I found out it's when I see people getting angry, I try and step in without getting angry myself. That's a hard thing to do. Because you've got a part of you thinks, oh, shut up, you beep. like, no, we're not doing that. Nope. Because maybe this person's having a bad day. You don't know.
That's true.
Or maybe they just don't have the knowledge of something. And I try my best not to judge people on their like political outlooks and stuff like that. I try to be like, okay, everyone's got their own perspective, everyone's got their own life experiences. Right. Not everyone's born in the same area or climate as me. So you've got to look at this from their side. And then you communicate, and if you're both willing to be open-minded with each other, then change happens.
Right.
And unfortunately, we live this time where everyone is just so divided, and it's horrible. Like in this time where we have people on our phones constantly, we're more alone than ever.
I know, right?
How's that? It's because you cannot beat just normal human interaction. That can't be replaced. I know people might get a little bit iffy with this. Just hear me out. Yes, internet friendships are they are true. They are real. They are real. Right. But when you actually meet that internet friend for the first time, the stories are like you can see you're still missing that.
Yeah, there's that still
that togetherness. We're social animals. I mean, I know I like being on my own for sort of periods of time because that's just who I am. But I still need that social interaction. I'm a human. That's what we are. So when we go to these festivals, and we get that feel of community back. Because I don't live in a village. I live in a town. No one likes each other here. When I go to these concerts, sometimes we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we pass through villages. Sometimes, when you get off the train, you walk around, you feel that community. You feel that sense of just love between like the neighbours. You just know they all know each other. Like you can leave your door unlocked, stuff like that. You feel safe there. I think to myself, why can't I live here? And they will probably don't have like a mental health crisis in those places like we do in cities. It is very sad. That's why I beg people to like reach out more.
Definitely.
Like unfortunately we know we have a limited time. We aren't gonna be around forever. So why on earth aren't we spending more time just being with people we care about or making new connections? Something that just
or like instead of wasting, like you said, that's why I always see. So the Star Trek community I was telling you before, I'd say for the most part it's good, but there is some serious toxic people. I just don't get sometimes. I'll sit there and read posts and stuff. Just like the negativity people put in there. I'm like I don't understand the why. Like sometimes I just don't understand the energy, all the energy you're putting into this. Like just because you don't like a show or you don't like a thing, I'm like I don't know. I get it. I guess I don't. To me, it's kind of a waste of energy, but it is what it is, So
And that's my philosophy for why I do art.
it
I
makes
don't do
sense.
it for the money. My favourite thing to do with my art is give it to people because I just look forward to their reaction. It's just a nice feeling because you don't know. I mean, they keep saying, "Oh, but they're big, they're famous." Like, they're still people. They go
Yeah,
into
so yeah,
securities like
exactly.
we do,
Yeah.
and you don't know if they're having a really bad day, if they just need a little boost, or just I don't know, just a bit of fun, something nice. So when I come along with my art and I see their reactions, it just makes me feel good. You've made someone happy by doing something that by in your own way.
Right.
Because in the past, usually I'd be doing the opposite when I was younger. I wasn't a very nice person. oh boy. So I'm trying to even things out a bit now. and there it was. And one time I thought, oh my God, that goal I had from the first gig, making people happy, making people feel good, the way Sharon did for me. There it is. It's happening. I probably told her this in like the fan mail and stuff. Me and my friend, we love writing fan mail. It's so therapeutic.
I didn't know you still could do that. I didn't know that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Oh my God, writing letters. Why did phones ruin that? I love
I know,
writing
right?
letters.
Yeah. Oh, I still do, but I don't write. I didn't think of the fan mail part. Yeah.
No, because I don't really get to talk about stuff like this, like we're doing now, in normal
That is true.
situations
Yeah, you
because
can put it in work writing. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
no one wants to hear this. No normal person wants to hear this stuff. So, which I really appreciate coming on here because I can just blah, 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 talk and talk and
I'm
talk.
sure we'll have some guests. We'll definitely
Yeah, when I
listen
saw
to
your message, I was like, oh, I get to do this.
Actually, it's funny, real quick. It's tough. I'm trying to get guests on that are interesting and like have stories like you do, and you talked about your addiction, which was nice because I do focus a little bit on mental health on some of the episodes, and but it's a struggle to try to get people on, and then I just never know. Like I direct message you, and you never know. Like I direct message a couple of people last week, and it's either there's maybe a 10% chance somebody's going to respond. So I appreciate the fact that you responded. So.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, I'm in. When? Where? Let's go. Because I'm always listening to podcasts when I'm doing my art. Like, I win the Temptation ones, other artists, especially mental health stuff, really interests me. Really want to go into that. So now, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it.
Well, it's funny. I met actually at the VIP. I met a artist there, and that's the thing too. We talked about it a little bit earlier, right? The VIP. Maybe there's 20 people there that had tickets, ranging from again everywhere. I was surprised that a third of us were from the United States at the Amsterdam show, and then there was a few locals, and then but one of the women that I talked to in line, we just started talking in line. She was going to school for specifically art. I forget how to word it. Mental health therapy through art, basically. And so that's what she was doing. And I was like, well, this is interesting. So, but I was actually, I keep meaning to get her to come on. So I'll have to reach back up to her. But again, it's like you said earlier, the people you meet, you just don't know. And that kind of goes back to your in-person connection with people. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who you're going to talk to. You don't know what opportunities are going to come out of talking to certain people. Like you just never know. It's like, but if you don't take that chance and just have that in-person connection, sometimes you don't know what you're missing. So.
Thing is, we don't really stay in contact with people because it's still humans can only handle a certain amount of relationships at a time. Right. Social media, you can add thousands and thousands. Like, how many people do you actually know in that list? That's why I just don't really add anymore because I won't keep contacts. But that's not a bad thing because in the past, people didn't do that.
Yeah.
And some people have their own lives will throw away, and that's okay. It's okay to share one amazing night with a stranger, and then you part ways.
Yeah.
Like I remember every single one. I remember every single person I stood next to, how they made me feel. Because some of them were very. So I think one show I looked a bit. These people knew I was looking a bit down, so they came and took me under their wing. We had an amazing time in the front row at the side.
So I can ask you about the front row. I got to ask you about the front row because my anxiety drives me. I've never done the front row thing. I'm not a crowd person either. So I've shied away from the front row because of my anxiety. Right? I just don't want to be up there. I feel like I'm going to be up there stuffed against everything. I want to go. Like I want to experience it 100%. But like, from the band perspective and being able to see it. But I'm just like always talk myself out of it. I had numerous opportunities. I was, front line for whatever, and I just go and find my nice spot somewhere. I'm like, somebody else can have me up front. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll give it a shot. But.
No, I feel agitate when I'm not in the front row because I feel when I'm surrounded by people, I'm like, oh god. And also, I have a bad knee, so I don't have something to lean on.
You pretty much can't leave, right? So once you're there, you're stuck. Right? I mean, if you leave, you're not coming back to that spot, basically.
If you trust people, if you've got friends, you can go to the toilet.
Yeah, that was my other concern. Yeah.
I did that once for a friend at a gig right at the last minute. She goes, I need the toilet. So I'm there, like, holding the barrier. I'm like, no one touches me.
It's fine. But, all right, so where can we find the artwork? If people want to
where?
Where can we find your artwork? You have a page now, right? Or
my Etsy
page, right? What's it called?
EmilalasArt.
Well,
that's my nickname.
Well, I'll post a link to it too.
Yes, please do. There will be more than Temptation stuff eventually. I'm just working through video games right now. Just a few video game characters first.
Different video game art.
I'm currently doing The Witcher.
Oh, cool.
Then back to God of War for a little bit. Then back when the tour starts. That's when WT stuff will be coming in. Because Martine, he wants one. When I gave Rude his Iron Maiden one.
Yeah.
That, God, I got 1 hour's sleep. I got 2 artwork pieces done for that show. One for Rude and one for Johan. Because Johan's buying me start base. So I was like, I got it. So I got 1 hour's sleep before heading off. It's like in The Simpsons when Homer when he goes to bed and his alarm, 1 second, his alarm goes off.
He goes right back off.
Yeah, that was me getting up for the Eurostar. Oh boy. It was worth it. Once we got there with the artworks, gave them to the boys, I was like, I did it! I want to go to bed now.
What shows do you have planned so far for the next one? Do you know yet?
Starting in Groningen, then Sweden, Finland,
nice.
possibly Denmark, then 2 in the UK, then Amsterdam to finish.
Nice. That's solid. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just doing Madrid at this point. I really wish I was doing more. I just couldn't fit it into our schedule coming out there. So.
And I've got to go shopping this week for fabrics.
Actually, speaking of that, I haven't posted it, but I'm going to just give away. I have 2 tickets to the Toulouse show, so I'd probably just give them away. So unless you know anybody, maybe I'll post it to the fan page and see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'd rather do that than go to waste,
I've got like a secret-ish costume
nice.
I'm about to start on. It will be for Groningen, so I need to start very soon. Because I was stupid enough to tell Sharon about it. I was dressed up. So I've done Huron.
Yeah.
And then I did Robert, his Black Christmas outfit, the red one.
Yeah, the red one.
I thought, that's cool. I can do it for Candles, my base cover. Because he did that, they played that, he was wearing that. That's cool, there you go, I'll make that. And I decided to wear it.
You're making all these?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
I can sew.
Awesome.
So I show up to I think it was Finland. I show up with the face paint in the rain. I had to put a poncho around my head. To stop.
Oh, it wouldn't melt. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my God, the stress. I was like, if any rain gets into here, it's over. All that effort, it's gone. And I remember the band before WT, the bloke, he has a bottle of water. He drinks some, looks at me, and does this.
Oh.
And I'm looking in slow motion, this water is coming towards me. And so I just go, and I feel it hit my back. I look at him like, why? What would you do? But I was fine. I saved the face paint.
That's awesome.
So we were sharing the hotel with the band.
Oh, really?
Oh, that was experience and a half. That was just nutty banter the whole time.
That's awesome.
But we get there just before Sharon gets back. So we managed to chat for a bit in the lobby. We were both in costume. If anyone had come down the stairs, not knowing what was going on, and seen, they're like, what the? Is it coming? Come on, what's going on? And I said, yeah, I'm doing one of your costumes next. And she goes, oh, cool, I look forward to seeing it. I'm like, oh, bugger. That means I got to do it. Oh, no. I said to my friend, Yona, next time I do that, just hit me on the head. Shut me up.
You know what you can do? Wasn't there one where, didn't she have, was it a gold dress with like a wide bottom to it? Where was that?
Here's the thing, I don't do dresses. This is the interesting
No,
thing.
the only reason I was going to say it, bring it up, because then you could keep people away from you at the front.
No, it's a very old one. It's a Mother Earth era.
Oh, nice.
But it's going to be converted into something that I would wear. So
awesome.
So I've got the design drawn up. So now we just got to try and make it.
It's always impressed me too. I don't know how you all do it with artwork itself is crazy, but then making things.
I'm not very good. So I kind of just run it through the sewing machine. Done. I don't care about the seams. It's gonna look ghastly on the inside. Just don't open the jacket. Just don't open it. Don't. Whew, man, we've been there for an hour. Wow, this has been a.
I don't know. Anything else you want to throw out to the crowd?
Any questions to you guys? I think.
Not really. I think we hit a lot of stuff. I'm just looking forward to seeing what else you come up with. You know, I'll say this. Like I said, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I appreciate your inspiration for me. I know you're reaching out and trying to touch people, and I think you're doing that. I can't thank you enough. I mean, again, it goes back to I just saw you online. Somehow we connect via the fandom, and your positivity reached me through the internet. It got me to do some stuff I usually didn't do, and which turned into this great, emotional, awesome experience, ride, whatever you want to call it. And now it's turned into this podcast, and now it's turned into all this other stuff.
I hope you get more people. This was fun.
I'm trying. Well, if you know people too, I'm always looking for guests. So, and they can be anything, any kind of good stories. You know, it doesn't have to be fandom stuff. It can be absolutely anything. So.
More stuff to subject. Sorry, I forgot. Are we allowed to get a little bit political?
Go ahead if you want, man.
Ukraine. Can we talk about that? Because, wow, the commitment that they've had to Ukraine is. I mean, I try to not get. When it comes to politics, I'm not a black and white person.
Right.
When it comes to value of life, it affects me a lot when I see just any kind of murders happening, like between countries. Because it's not. I mean, remember, System of a Down says, why don't presidents go to war? Why do they always send the poor?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So when I see these governments sending off just ordinary people to fight these ridiculous battles, it angers me.
Yeah, it makes
like,
sense.
you go freaking do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ukraine didn't have a choice. Like, someone's trying to break into your house. What would you do?
Yeah.
But what really impresses me is how the band, you get this with a lot of other artists, they'll just say the thing.
They're pretty,
just ordinary people, they'll virtue signal, say the thing.
Yeah.
Just to get likes or, like, please believe I'm a good person. And you see right through it now. You just think, you don't care about this.
No, yeah.
Like, just stop it. And it's when they tell other people, if you don't write about this, you're a bad person. Like, just stop it. Stop. Like, a lot of us are going through a lot right now. Most countries are going through awful things. Right. My country is going through some stupid times right now. And a lot of us we do not have the energy or the resources to, unfortunately, not everyone can help out right now.
Right.
But then you look within temptation. And I really respected Sharon for saying that we're not going to force people to join in this, virtual signal or anything. She said we get, not everyone has the time or the resources to help. But they do. And that's why she does it. And then when I saw the photos of her going there, I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, that was crazy, right? Yeah.
She actually went over.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. That was a risk. Like, I mean, Kiev got attacked right after.
Yeah, it was right there. Yeah, exactly.
That's the show. This band, they're just so real in what they do.
Yeah, they stand behind their stuff. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, they're not talk. They're doers. They're
doers. Right. Yeah.
They stick by it, and it must be so nice for the people living there for them to actually. They came over to this. This war-torn land. and just I don't know, just be with them. She did a couple of podcasts there as well.
It's funny. I went to the first show I went to was the Belgium show on Worlds Collide, and when did they play? Pretty early on in the set list, they played "Raise Your Banner" when she had like the Ukrainian flag up and everything. And I don't know if the couple next to me was from Russia or not, but they left. They said, "We're leaving. We can't take this." I was like, "All right, have fun. See you." So, it was
I remember,
interesting.
yes, I think it was Czech Republic last year when she brought that flag out, and I could hear people like shouting, and she ignored. She kept going. And I was like, I got a bit worried. I could hear people like these blokes like, I'm like, oh boy.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's where the rest of the other, seeing her do stuff like that too was where obviously the name of the podcast, Raise Your Banner, came the inspiration from their song. But I mean, physically seeing her do that, it just harkens back to my thoughts on mental health and like raising your hand if you need help and raising, and being bold enough to be like, hey, either I need help or being bold enough to be like, hey, I'm somebody you can turn to. Just turn to me. I'm a safe spot to somebody, so I'm not going to turn you away. Come talk to me if you need help, so.
And I do feel bad for like the Russian people as well, because
for sure, yeah.
they're no one chooses where they're born.
No, yeah.
That's what upsets me. Like your fate is decided where you're born. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Like the fact they're born there and they're like indoctrinated into the army and then forced to go abroad and possibly get killed themselves. It upsets me.
I agree. Well,
I wish we weren't so black and white. I wish the value of life extended to those being forced to also do things like how different would their lives have been if they'd been born somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
It's like if we can recognise humanity, each other as best, like try and do that first before we start. I mean, unfortunately, there's people out there who will never be convinced. It's a sad thing, but you can pry, but they will never open their minds.
Well,
that's sad.
You see it a lot with immigration too, right? Like the majority of people are trying to, at least in the U.S., we get it all the time with people trying to come up from like Mexico and things like that. But 99% of the people want a better life. Like like you just said, they possibly were born into like poverty or something like that. Like, why can't they come here? It just, I don't know, doesn't make sense. But why can't they have a better life, or why can't you help somebody to have a better life? Like, I just don't get it.
This is so much. It's like, so we're gonna go. We're gonna start naming so many things that it feels it feels impossible. It feels impossible, but within temptation, they give us hope with that sort of thing.
They do. Yeah.
When she did that, it gave me a bit of hope.
I agree.
So. And I love the video. I've watched it quite a few times now. It's
pretty good. I just ordered. Have you seen that? Did you get the Worlds Collide DVD thing?
No, I haven't.
I just ordered. I actually just got the message saying it got shipped. I'm just curious because I'm hoping like they took all the video from like a lot of I was at the Amsterdam show. They videoed a lot. They did a lot of video there. So I was hoping to see if I was in any of it from being VIP there, but I don't know.
So when it comes to with the Ukraine, I just want everyone to put their guns down and go home. That's what I want.
Yeah, can we call it a day at this point? I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know, right?
Okay, I think we've covered everything.
We have touched on that. Anything else? Again, tell people again where your artwork's at, the Etsy site.
My Etsy, EmilalasArt at Etsy.
Okay, cool. And like I said,
I've only got 4 things on there, so
I'll start linking or make sure I link to that. But again, I appreciate you coming on today. We talked about a lot. It was great having you on. Maybe we'll do this again 6 months to a year. See what else we got to talk about.
After the tour, maybe we'll see how that goes.
After the tour, that's a good idea. Yeah. So, man, too bad we couldn't work it where we did it on the tour. We'll have to talk some after this. We'll figure something out.
I'll be at the VIP meet. Hey, podcast with you. Like, hello.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, sharing your love for the band, sharing your music and art. It was great. And,
I enjoyed it. It was nice to just let it all out.
Raise your banner if you need help, and raise your banner to let others know you're a safe person to turn to. Until next time, stick around and keep on moving forward. Research conducted by Matrixa Research Group. Artwork created by Jenna Bordinger at jbordingerart.com or at jbordinger_art on Instagram. And music by Josiah Renton, DJ Slowbro.